with country artist Gabrielle Metz. Gabrielle, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So tell us a little bit about how you got your start in country music.
Yeah, so I started writing and playing guitar at 14. I've sung my whole life. I always loved it. And then I guess I just I always gravitated toward country music because my parents played it a lot. It was on the radio a lot. I grew up in Alabama, so that was very much just the genre and the culture I grew up in. So I always kind of gravitated towards it over other genres. And then at 17, I decided that I wanted to move to Nashville. And I was up here about 6 months later after I made that choice. I finished school as quick as I could. And I was like, let's go.
Wow. So how old are you now?
I'm 20.
Wow. So you've been in this for 3 years. What was your
Yeah.
earliest influence of country music that really made you decide that you wanted to be in this?
Um, I didn't. I always loved music. It was always a huge part of my life. I didn't really think that it was a very viable career option though, because both of my parents are medical field, physical therapists, that side of things. So I always felt like I was supposed to go to college and get a job, and that was just how life was supposed to be. So I, I think the moment that I really was like, wow, there are like people who do this. There are females that are successful that do this. I was actually talking about this last night. Was I went to a Carrie Underwood concert at the age of 12, and I went to her Blown Away tour in Atlanta, and it was amazing. It was my first like arena concert that I had ever been to, and she's fantastic. I had been a huge fan of hers for years, and that was that first time that I was like, oh, okay, they're like successful female artists that do this, and this is their life. And I was like, that's actually pretty cool. But I was probably 16 when I made the decision that I was like, okay, I'm gonna like actually go for this. I'm gonna put my all into it, and this is what I'm gonna be with, do with my life.
So take us back to your earliest memory of ever stepping on the stage to perform a song.
I don't know if this is actually like a memory that I have of being on stage, but it's the first there's videos of me on stage. We'll say that. But it was probably church. It was like the Christmas plays or stuff that we would do in like children's choir and stuff like that. I was probably 3 or 4.
That is amazing. So, you know what? You have a great song out called Hey Cupid. Tell us a little bit about that.
Thank you. Yeah, I just put it out a couple weeks ago. I actually wrote it last year. I've been sitting on it for a little bit, but me and one of my friends, Christy Huff, who co-wrote another one of my songs that's out. She was in town last year. She's from LA, or she lives in LA, and she was in town, and she was in town for about 2 weeks, and it spanned across Valentine's Day. And we were out at a round together or something, and she was like, hey, let's just like go grab dinner Valentine's night. She was like, we're both single. We're not going to sit at home. I was like, absolutely. So we went out to have dinner and like watch a movie, and we were sitting there in the restaurant, and it was like, we are for sure the only single people out tonight. Like, definitely. And we just kind of thought it was funny. And I went home and I was like, we need a singles people anthem for Valentine's Day. And I went home and I wrote Hey Cupid, and I was like, it's kind of a little bit geared towards Valentine's Day because of like Hey Cupid, and it's just about not being in love while everybody else is. But it's applicable, I feel like, any time of the year.
Wow. So, you know what? I was thinking that you was in love with somebody writing that song. I guess not.
No, no, not at all. The whole chorus is just like, you're working for Hey Cupid, you're making everybody else fall in love, and I'm not. Nobody's falling in love with me, or I'm not falling in love with anybody else. I'm just over here single while all of my friends are in love. So it's a very tongue in cheek, just kind of fun, upbeat song for all my single folks.
All right, I'm gonna put you on the spot now. You done opened up the door
Okay.
for all the single guys that may be watching this program. What would be 5 qualities that you would look for in a guy?
Ooh. I'm I'm very to the point. I'm very pragmatic about relationships. So, I mean, I feel like I always want people to. I have high standards, I guess you could say. So you have to be super respectful, kind. It's always a bonus if you're funny, if you have a good sense of humor, because I have a very sarcastic sense of humor. So you have to be able to like understand that. I feel like, yeah. So just, I don't know, just be respectful. Just be a good human.
Wow. You know what? Those traits right there is going to be hard to find because you know what? It was just like I was telling somebody the other day respect and kindness has gone out the door. So, you know, those days it's
A little
very
bit.
few and far between. So, yeah.
Yep.
So, what about a song that you have written that, you know, that you never thought would actually make it that far and it actually has?
Hmm. Honestly, this is gonna be kind of a weird pick, but the Christmas song that I did, I knew I really loved it. It's a 6/8 song that I put out last November just for the holiday season, and me and one of my friends wrote it, and she produced it, and we had a blast making it, and I really loved it. And I knew I really liked it when I put it out, but I was not expecting so many other people to just like really get behind it. Because Christmas songs, they're played 1 month, maybe 2 months out of the year, and that's it. But this one just like, it got a lot bigger reaction than I thought it was going to.
Wow. So, I hear you got a song for us that you want to play, and we'll come back
Yeah.
and we're going to do a speed round of questions. That's always fun, ain't it?
Okay, yeah, sounds good. You want me to just play the new single, Hey Cupid?
Well, yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to disappear here and I'm going to put the full screen on you so you can sing.
All right, sounds good. Alright, so this song is Hey Cupid. It's out right now on all streaming platforms. So if y'all like it, feel free to go check it out. Mom and Dad been going since 95, and my best friend's falling, finding Mr. Right. While I'm punching this 9 to 5 without even a hand to hold in mine. What's wrong with this picture? Let me be a little clearer. Hey Cupid, how come you're working for everyone else? Everybody's got somebody, can I be next? Hey Cupid, I know you're off the clock now. Could you please put in some overtime, help a girl out? Hey Cupid, I know you're busy, 'cause love's working for everyone but me. I've been rolling solo for 19 years, and it doesn't bug me. Love stories are all I hear. So I'm just biding my time, hoping and praying it'll all turn out alright. What's wrong with this picture? Let me be a little clearer. Hey Cupid, how come you're working for everyone else? Everybody's got somebody to buy me next. Hey Cupid, I know you're off the clock now. Could you please put in some overtime, help a girl out? Hey Cupid, I know you're busy, 'cause love's working for everyone but me. Let me give you credit where it's due. You can do some wonderful you're working for everyone else. Everybody's got somebody, can I be next? Hey Cupid, I know you're off the clock now. Could you please put in some overtime? Help a girl out. Hey Cupid, I know you're busy. Hey Cupid, I know you hear me. Your love's working for everyone but me. Oh, oh, oh,
All right, give me just a second here. I'm coming back. Okay, so speed round of questions. This is going to be fun. Let's start off with this one right here. Who is your current celebrity crush?
oh, okay. This might not be a speed run. I'm gonna overthink this. I don't know. I'm not. Okay, no, I do know. Hunter Hayes, for sure. All the time. Since I was like 12.
What is your go to jam song right now?
Ooh. Anything by Jake Scott. He's
Favorite
awesome.
food?
Underrated. What?
Favorite food?
Favorite food? Chicken in any form or fashion.
Amen to that. I tell you what, there ain't nothing can beat chicken, I tell you.
Nope. Nope.
Favorite movie?
mm. Oh, this changes. I'm not a big movie watcher though. Um, I don't know. Anything from my dog's gonna try to jump in the picture now. Anything for I'm a really big like comic book movie kind of fan. So anything Marvel, DC, I love that kind of stuff. I guess I'll go with that.
Favorite quote?
Um, this is a good one. Okay, so James Patterson has this book that's a lot different than what he usually writes because he writes a lot of like mystery, that kind of stuff. But he did two books that were kind of more in the young adult, I guess, kind of fashion. And there's this one book called Suzanne's Diary for Nicholas, and in the first chapter, the main character is talking about kind of juggling the work life balance. And she's like, I imagine that my life is like juggling, five balls. Four of them are rubber, and it's basically like your I'm sorry, four of them are glass. So your family, your friends, your um, health, mental and physical, and then the fifth one is work. And the work one is rubber, so it doesn't matter if you drop it; it's always gonna bounce back up. You can always pick it back up. And the other four are glass, so if you drop them, they're gonna chip, they're gonna shatter, they're gonna break in some form or fashion. And even if you can repair them, they're never gonna go back to the way that they originally were. And that just kind of like, I read this book probably about 2 years ago. So I'm paraphrasing that. And it really stuck with me because as a musician, we tend to like really be perfectionists and we want our work to just be the best before we put it out. And we get lost in our heads and in our creativity sometimes. And it's really hard to kind of balance our life and our health and our family and our friends and still kind of go after this career. And so just kind of like keeping myself in check to make sure that I'm being, I'm kind of balancing work and life and make sure I'm taking care of myself and my relationships.
So, if you had the chance to open up for any country artist, past or present, who would you pick?
Carrie Underwood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
y'all would be a good duo. Yep, that would
Yeah.
be a great concert.
Yeah. Or Kelsey Ballerini or Marin Morris. I've always been like super, even when I was young, I gravitated towards the female artist. Um, I don't know if it was because it was like, oh, hey, they represent like what I could do, but I always kind of gravitated towards them. They were always my favorites.
We got a great female duo coming on tomorrow. I don't know if you know them or not. Honey County. They're going to be
Oh
on the show
yeah,
tomorrow. Yeah.
they're
Uh,
great.
and so, what would be your favorite Carrie Underwood song?
I can't pick a song, but my favorite album is probably the Blown Away album. That one was just super cohesive, um, really good top to bottom. Plus, I went to that tour. It was a great tour. So I'm gonna pick favorite album. I'm not gonna pinpoint a favorite song.
So let's go back to talking about your career in music. In life, we have many people and peers, mentors that give us pieces of advice. And
Mm.
there's always one piece of advice that always sticks to the forefront of our mind. What would
Mm-hmm.
be that for you?
Yeah, I was actually talking about this last night too. Um, I spent 4 years in Georgia as a kid. My dad went back to PT school, and we moved over there. And I grew up I was there in a little town called Cornelia, Georgia, which is just a dot on the map. It is such a small town. But Kimberly Schlapman, who's from Little Big Town, actually is from there as well. And her sister was my choir director, and I just loved that town when I was there. And I ended up making a visit back there just to see some old friends that I still talk to and everything. Probably like 2015, 2016. It was right around the time where I was like really I was writing. I was trying to get better at guitar, and I was like, okay, maybe I really do want to do this with my life. And I made a visit back there, and Kimberly was actually in town doing a book signing for a cookbook that she had just released. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, and I convinced my dad to take me. And we got there, and when I say small town, I mean small town. So there are not a ton of people there, but it was great. So I had the opportunity to like talk with her for a few minutes. And I was like, I really think that I want to do this with my life. I really love music. I love to sing. I've been writing, all that kind of stuff. And she was such a champ. She was just smiling. She was so kind. And she goes, well, if you really want to do this, I'm going to give you 2 pieces of advice. Make sure that you're all in and that you're going to work as hard as you can. Otherwise, it's not worth it. And 2, if you're really serious about this, don't get discouraged because you're going to get a lot of no's. We got a lot of no's, but it only takes one yes for it to just completely start snowballing. And that just kind of always stuck with me because there are definitely a lot of no's in this industry. But she's right. It only takes one yes. So just that persistence.
Well, it looks like you've reached a yes with Jill Pavel and Publicity Nation. Speaking of that, you know,
They're great.
tell us a little bit about what they do for you.
Oh, yeah. They're awesome. I actually met Jill through Be a Highway Women, which is, I guess, a movement, for lack of a better term, that she started, which is just like this female empowerment movement that she started across country for young females in music and in any form or fashion, artists, songwriters, producers, guitar players, etc. And I stumbled across it, I think on Instagram. A few of my friends from around Nashville had joined in on it, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And I checked it out and got connected to Jill through them. And she's been fantastic. She's just, I feel like she really wants the best for every artist that she helps out. And she's going to give it to you straight if if you need to work on something, if you need to change something. She's super upfront, which I really love. But they've been great. Just doing PR for my last 2 or 3 singles. They're fantastic, and she has a great team over there.
So, what's coming up for Gabrielle Metz in 2021?
I wish I had a solid answer for you. I do. I don't know. I'm playing it by ear right now. I'm about to get back in the studio for a new single that I'm planning to put out, hopefully like May-ish, somewhere in there. So I'm planning that, but honestly, that's kind of the only set in stone plans that I have right now. I'm taking gigs as I can get them, but they are few and far between, at least in-person gigs, I'll put it that way. So just honestly, I think all of us are kind of in this holding pattern right now. We're just trying to figure it out.
So, that brings up another question. During this time of COVID and quarantine and everything that's been going on, what are some things that you have been doing to help pass the time?
I think that COVID was a little bit of a blessing in disguise. Um, like I said, us creatives have a tendency to really get in our heads and really kind of fixate on making our art perfect, that COVID kind of gave me the time. I wasn't able to, go out and network. I wasn't able to go out to shows. I wasn't performing anywhere. So I ended up with a lot of free time on my hands, and I came home. I came to my parents' house for several months because I just didn't want to sit in my apartment by myself. And so it gave me a lot of time with my family, who I'm super close with, so I'm thankful for that. But it also gave me a chance to kind of learn the business side of music. I got to dive into marketing, and that's my mom's wheelhouse. That's what she went to school for. So she's just been over here like, this is what you need to do on the business side. And I'm like, give me all of the information. So I've been able to learn that side of things that I was kind of, I guess, neglecting because I was so in the creative side of things.
So, what's one thing that you've learned from your mom that has really helped you so far?
She's a whiz with the marketing stuff for like Spotify and that kind of stuff. She's helped me a lot with the playlisting kind of things that I was just like, I don't understand. I just want to put my music out. I just want to go write my songs. I think that she has given me way too much information for me to narrow it down to one.
Wow. So, I hear you have another song for us that you want to share.
Yeah, sure. I can do that. Let's see. What do I want to play?
Hey, I tell you what. Play a song that when people first met Gabrielle Metz, this is what they would hear.
Okay. I probably I don't keep up with a lot of my older songs, but I'll go with this one. This is my first single that I put out. This is my first full production single. It came out last January. Make sure this is in tune. Yeah, we're good. And I put it out. I grew up for the most part in Alabama, about 15, 20 minutes from Talladega. And so when it was race weekend, we could barely get to school. The roads were so backed up with campers and people heading to the racetrack. So I kind of wrote this song about, me and my mom found a checker flag jacket that was pretty awesome. I was like, you know what? I'm going to write a song about just kind of that culture. And it wouldn't be country music if I didn't parallel it to love. So this is Checker Flag. This is too high. Hold up. Pause. Here we go. Checker flag. Color green sends us off to the races. It's all brand new. Every reason to be scared and nervous. It's all on the line to lose. It'll take some time, even if it moves fast. This is not my first time round this track. My sights are set on the checkered flag. The way is left tonight, telling us that even though some things went wrong, we still got it right. We fought through the good and bad, gave it our all, everything we have. We know that this is worth the ride. Hold on tight, speed to the checkered flag. The color yellow cautions us to slow. They watch our every move, talking about how we move too fast. It's like we have something to prove. It'll take some time, even if it moves fast. This is not my first time round this track. My sights are set on the checkered flag. The waves left tonight, telling us that even though some things went wrong, we still got it right. We fought through the good and bad, gave black flags high, weighing in with their concerns. I know we'll be alright, but this makes me feel alive. My sights set on the checkered flag, the waves left tonight telling us that even though some things went wrong, we still got it right. We fought through the good and bad, gave it our all, everything we have. We know that this is worth the ride. Hold on tight, speak to the checkered flag.
That was amazing. Great song. How did you come
Thank
up
you.
with that song?
Yeah, so like I said, I grew up about 15, 20 minutes from Talladega. And my high school was on, we live in Boondocks, Alabama, so it's all back roads back here. So the one road from the interstate to the racetrack is the road that my high school was on. So if it was race weekend, it was backed up. You had to leave 30, 45 minutes before school started to get there on time. It was madness. And me and Mom found this checker flag jacket, and I was like, oh wow, that's super cool. And it just kind of got me thinking about just kind of that race culture and everything. And I was like, I feel like I could write this song and it could be applicable to so many areas in your life. And so I kind of wrote it in a way that it could be kind of applied to love or relationship that people kind of have outside opinions on, or maybe a career path that you're choosing, or a dream that you're chasing that might be a little bit outside of the ordinary. And so I just kind of wrote it as a parallel to that kind of race culture and what I grew up around, but also where it can kind of be applied to all different areas of life.
Well, Gabrielle, we have had so much fun with you today on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on. Tell our viewers how they can find out more about you or purchase product.
Yeah, absolutely. So all of my information is on my website, GabrielleMetz.com. That's GabrielleMetz.com. That's got all my socials. It's got all my latest songs, videos, all that kind of information. So yeah, feel free to head over there and check out all my music.
Well, I tell you what, we have had some fun with you today. Thank you so much for coming on with us, and we will bring you
Thank
back
you
on
for having
again
me.
soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye.